Hey everyone of YouTube land, Sniping is Fun here, and look at what I got. Ta-da! The Super Nintendo Classic Edition! I was actually able to finally find this. Seriously though, this actually being able to find one of these things is a miracle in and of itself, and I know it's not as hard as the NES Classic Edition was, and hopefully when that finally gets as fair as I remember, they're doing more prints of that in the summer, and hopefully be able to find that. But this one right here, this one is actually very, very close to my heart, very, very meaningful to actually be able to find this, because I grew up with the Super Nintendo. I grew up with being able to have the Super Nintendo system right now, and I really was happy that I was able to finally find this, because a lot of these games there, like Super Mario Kart and F-Zero, Donkey Kong Country, and Super Mario World, I grew up playing, and I really, and this system is just very nostalgic to me, and I'm actually glad to be able to find this so I can actually play a lot of these games, because some of these games I haven't played like at all. Sorry, excuse me. And some of these games I have and actually own on my NES, so being able to play them would be kind of cool. Yeah, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I have the Game Boy Advance version of that. I never played the Super Nintendo one, even though it's the exact same game of support. But I didn't get into Legend of Zelda till Ocarina of Time, and then went back and played some games here and there afterwards. So now being able to play that in of itself is kind of cool, the actual Super Nintendo version with a Super Nintendo controller. But yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to do a quick little video here, guys, showing you I have a Super Nintendo Classic Edition. I grew up loving F-Zero. I love Street Fighter and Mega Man X and Kirby, Mario Kart, and Yoshi's Island, Mario World. I never played Contra 3, even though I kind of like the Contra series. I never got around to playing Contra 3. And I only put a little bit of time in the Mario RPG when I was younger, even though I have the Wii Virtual Console version of it now. Final Fantasy 3. Oh, Final Fantasy 6. How I miss you. I don't know what happened to it, but I had the Final Fantasy 6 on the Game Boy Advance, and the game just disappeared on me. But now I can actually play with this. And there's Kirby Superstar, which I mostly played the DS version of that, Secret of Mana, which Value World screwed me over on. I was about to get that game a couple years ago, and then they screwed me over a box saying they wouldn't sell it unless it was all together, and I couldn't buy the game separate. Now I can play that. I love myself some Mega Man X, Donkey Kong Country series I like. I never got around to playing Castlevania 4. I have Earthbound on the Wii U Virtual Console. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is hard as hell. Super Punch-Out is freaking awesome. And I could finally play some Star Fox 2, even there's the original Star Fox, and Kirby's Dream Course, which I've never played that either. And any other games in here I never played? That's the lineup right there if you haven't seen what's on this thing. A lot of great Super Nintendo games there. A lot of really great Super Nintendo games there. But I'm extremely, extremely happy that I actually finally was able to find this, because the NES Classic Edition I want to, and I love me some NES games, but I actually grew up with a Super Nintendo. This was my first ever console besides the original Game Boy. My first home console, let's say. I grew up with this. I think I've shown you my collection before. I probably need to do an updated version on that one day, because I have more games probably now. But this was my first home console, the most nostalgic Nintendo system, pretty much to me, besides the N64. And to actually own this, to be able to play some of these games again in the HD widescreen, or in some of these games at all, because I never got around to playing Castlevania 4 or Contra 3, is really, really happy. And when I walked into, how I actually came across this, I walked into GameStop one day just to look around. Okay, cool, I'm going to just look around. And I put a pre-order on the 30th anniversary Street Fighter game for the Switch. And then right behind the desk, behind the counter, there were boxes of Super Nintendo Classic Editions. And I asked the guy in front, are those displays or are those real? He's like, they're real. And I'm like, and then I came back the next day and bought one. They had 4 on the wall, and I came back and I got one. Yeah. But yes, everyone, I have the Super Nintendo Classic Edition, and will enjoy myself some classic games on this alongside, my actual Super Nintendo. It's never going to take away from that, but being able to play this and hook it up, and sometimes not have to hook up my system and get the cartridges out, this is pretty freaking awesome. And I could take it downstairs and put it on an HD TV, and maybe I could eventually show my cousins some more of these classic games than what I have been showing them before. and show them the generation of gaming I grew up with and whatnot, and just enjoy this. And then hopefully I'll be able to find an NES Classic Edition one day, and hopefully they come out with like an N64 and whatnot. There you go. This video, Typing is Fun, signing out with the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. Bye!